Hi. Okay, so this video is going to be about Myers-Briggs or Jungian functions or socionics. Most of the information that actually helped me figure out this theoretical model that I've been working on is from DaveSuperPowers videos. He was kind enough to allow me to see some of his videos, and it's been very useful. He's really good at gathering all the data and organizing the data, and they're really good at interpreting the data and intuiting it and understanding it. But for me, I need this sort of this theoretical model in order for me to understand something. So I've been trying to figure out, like, just objectively see what he's trying to say, trying to see what's going on, and then from this theoretical model afterwards, I'm able to draw my own conclusions. Okay, so I'm going to use some of his terminology because that's sort of what I'm used to. I'm sorry if these are not the terms that you're used to. I can change the terms if I'm talking to you in a conversation, but I'm just going to try to keep it in his language at the moment. So let's dive into it. So these I call coins. No one's called them anything yet. I call all of these coins or faces, because originally this was sort of like a three-dimensional model and this was a cube, but it's really just four faces on the cube. And this is actually more of a torus, right? Or like a Pac-Man, if you think of Pac-Man. So you see the external sensing connects to the internal sensing on the way the model's sorted out, and these two are connected, right? Always an internal and an external of the same type is sort of connecting. And so here the Pac-Man model will go off to the side and come back on this side, and here it's that way. So that's for people that don't know, it's the surface style of a torus. That's how a torus works. The torus will loop around this way and it will loop around this way. Okay, let's dive into it. So everyone is going to have four functions. Everyone's going to have one of these coins that is going to be their default coin. Okay, now on your default coin, you're always going to have an external process, an extroverted process to gather information. You're always going to have an extroverted process to process information. Okay, and you're always going to have an introverted process that's opposite to your extroverted processes that is going to deal with information on your internal world and store that information. Okay, so this is going to process that information, and this is going to take the information and then store it. So you can take information out of here, and you can put information back into here. Okay, so this is going to be like your memory bank. Okay, and now if you want to use a different process, you have to flip one of these polarities. So flip the SE to the SI and the NI to the NE, and then you're going to be going over to this coin. Okay, and then you're going to be able to use your internal thinking function to do this process and to do that process. And the same thing here. If you want to use your internal feeling, you're going to have to flip the coin up this way, and then you can use those. And this is two flips. You're going to have to flip both of the sides in order to get to here. And so this is something that I don't think people have. I think if you want to do this, you're going to have to flip this way, and then, or flip this way, gather the information, right? And then flip this way, and then, flip this way and maybe deal with your FI or something like this. This is going to be a really hard place to get to if you start here. And same thing, all of the diagonals. So in order to speak about anything completely, we just need two diagonals. All 8 functions are opposite on these two diagonals, and we can talk about those two diagonals, and you'll get the full picture. Okay, so I'm going to start with this diagonal. On the external process, so you have this external process and this external process. When you connect the two external processes together, what's going on is you're completely in the outside world. You're completely in the outside world, and you're experiencing the world in all its full beauty and glory. That's what you're just out there and doing things out in the world. And this can be a learning process as well. You can gather information through experience. And people that would rather gather information through experience, that means this side is a little bit more weak for them. Some people can do both. If you're gathering information to your inner world, you see how there's an extroverted to an introverted. That means information is flowing from the outside in. Okay, because this is where information is coming from the outside world. Okay, so here the N and here the S. The N is conceptual information. You're going to be gathering conceptual information somehow, and you're going to be maybe working with it in a pragmatic way, or you're going to be working with it in an emotional way, the external information, or you can be using external facts, gathering external facts and sensory data that is restricted to that's blue, that's red, that's pretty, that's not pretty. Well, pretty is more like a judgment. It's more like a process, but you'll get, and then here you'd be gathering general data. You'll be gathering the forest, and here you'll be gathering the trees. Okay, so let's put it that way. That's a better example. So here you're looking more at the forest outside, and here you're looking more at the trees outside. Okay, so let's go through the process. So here, if you're gathering facts, gathering all these little trees outside, you're going to be using this process to bring it into yourself. So this is going to be your primary observation. So you're going to be performing these processes to process that information that you're gathering is here. So the fact to the internal logical process is going to be here. And so if your type, wherever your type is going to be where you most enjoy spending your time doing things. So my dad, for example, is here. He's going to be spending most of his time in this area here. And so what he's going to end up doing is he's not going to spend that much time gathering the information as information here. He's not going to spend so much time exploring the forest, but he's going to spend a lot of time pre-processing that forest before he brings it into his inside world. So this is coming into the inside world, and he's going to be pre-processing that forest here. And that's what he's going to end up doing most of his time. This here is your inside world. It's your two introverted functions, and they're connecting here. So your two introverted functions are completely your inside world. And so this is your perceiving. Myers-Briggs actually did really well. They put all of the perceiving on this side and all of their judging types on this side, and here they sort of just didn't really think about the types. But this is where your inside world, you gather all this. So here, I'll stick to here because I'm talking about it now. So here you're gathering these external trees, okay? And then from those trees, you're going to be drawing conclusions about the forest and storing the forest inside the trees. Sorry, you're going to be gathering the forest. Wow. And then you're going to be storing information about the trees from what you've been perceiving about the forest. So someone who's here is going to spend a lot of time thinking about the forest on the outside and bringing that forest information in properly. And then here, they're not going to be spending as much time, but they could spend time here too, transmitting this information into facts for their storage and for their use later when you end up using it and transferring it to the outside world, or recalling it and thinking about it some more. Okay. This process might be reversible if you're trying to bring things. Yeah, I'm not sure about this yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But I'm still, the jury's still out if this process is reversible and you can bring information out this way. But for now, it's more this. So DaveSuperPowers calls it consume. I think consume is a good word, but it's on the P side. So this is the axis. J's are here, P's are here. Extroverted is here, right? Because there's two extroverted functions. So this is the extroverted quadrant. And then here's the introverted quadrant because there's two introverted, right? And so the closer you get to here, so this is going to be more introverted, and this is what Myers-Briggs says. It's ISTJ, and this is ESTJ, because this is extroverted and this is introverted side of this process here, okay? Okay, let's continue. So this he calls sleep, but I think it's more like a meditative. It's your rich inner world. But I mean, it's just terms. We can use whatever terms. Okay, so you have information now in your inner world, and this is, for me, this is where I am, I think. I'm not sure, but I think I spend most of my time here processing the information in my inner world, and this is where I spend most of my time. So I'm very introverted in most of my daily life, but it doesn't mean I can't go here and experience and interact with the world and learn through experiencing the world. Okay, and now here, on this side here is where you're going to be getting information out, okay? So for me, I'm going to be getting information out. Now, obviously, I can flip this. I can flip this FE to a TE and use this process, but I'm going to be more comfortable doing this, okay? But for me, I think I'm a lead TI, which means I'm not going to use this FI much at all because I'm a lead TI, okay? So my TI is going to squash and destroy my FI. And what that's going to do is going to leave an imbalance in my feelings, because I'm not going to be able to use this FI to balance my feelings. And so then here I'm going to have this external feeling world and it's going to come at the expense of my internal feeling world, okay? And this external feeling world I can flip and use my TE really easily, because I don't really prefer this FE that much, but I prefer it over my TE. So because I'm in this coin. So when I flip to my TE, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be able to do it, and I can flip back to my FE, and that's fine. But my TE is going to be balanced by my TI. So when my TI goes outwards, it's going to be using a TE. It's going to be a very rational process, and this is going to be sort of a imbalanced process, because there's no FI that I have a lot of access to on the other side, because this is my he calls it a savior, Dave calls it a savior, but this is like my lead, or some other people call it a hero function or whatever. So this function here is going to destroy my FI, because that's my lead function. That's why I don't really have access to it as much. So anyways, I'm personally gonna have this internal world where, and you see that I've done this here, is that I've been processing this external information that I've been getting from DaveSuperPowers, and he's got a lot of data and a lot of facts, and he's organized it in a very factual way, right? And he's got definitions for everything, and that's great. This is good organization for me, because I'm really good at taking in that kind of information, but I'm not really good at understanding that information, because the information that I'm better at understanding is this kind of information, is the conceptual information. That I'm better. So I'll take in all of these trees and I'll be like, oh, the forest must be like this, right? So that's the process that I'm going to be doing. And then if I ever want to transfer something from my inner world to the outer world, and I'm not sure if you can use this reversibly, but it would make sense that you can use this reversibly. You can just take things this way too. But if I'm going to be generally doing this pattern. So if someone is doing the other way, is doing the other direction of flow, maybe they would be able to get things out. I have no idea, because I can't really internally intuit. I can't really understand this direction of flow. I'm more preferred to this direction of flow. So I guess it's sort of like a spin idea. So I'll take this, and then when I'm putting this information out to the world, I'm going to be taking my general concepts, and I'm going to be emotionally letting these concepts out. Or if I'm sticking true to the information, then I'm going to maybe be using this process to get information out. Okay. Now I also have factual information, because I can swap to here. But this is going to be the information that I would rather store. Actually, I'm pretty strong here. I'm right here. So I would prefer this kind of information over this kind of information, right? This kind of information is really going to destroy this kind of information, and it really comes up all the time. I'm horrible at remembering names. I'm horrible at remembering dates. I'm horrible at remembering facts, but I can understand the entire forest. And if anyone asks me about a specific tree, I can tell you how that tree works, because I understand the forest, right? And so someone here is going to remember, like they're going to take in all of this. If someone has a really lead SI, they're going to be on this side here. So then they're going to squash their NI, and they're going to just remember all kinds of statistics and facts and dates and all that kind of stuff. And they're not going to have a lot of conceptual understanding of things. That conceptual understanding is going to be translated, right? It's going to be translated to a factual understanding. Okay. So this process here where you're getting things out, and then this process is your extroverted world, where you're at a party, you're interacting with people, you're experiencing the world, you're going on adventures and things like this. So this person's adventures here is going to be a mix of these two. So he's going to have an emotional experience with all of the details that are in the world. So it's going to be emotionally detailed experience of the world. here is going to have an emotional, conceptual experience of the world. And here he's going to have a logical, conceptual experience with the world. And then here is going to be a logical, factual, experience with the world. So this is what he calls play, and blast. Blast, I guess, is like taking that information and bringing it out to the world. That's what blast is. So this is your J process here. This is your perception, and this is your judging process. When you judge things, you're blasting things out to the world. And so that's just basically the basic understanding. So everyone on your coin, all of these different types, are going to have the same 4 processes as you are, but whether they squash this process or they squash this process or something like that, they're gonna have access to different information processing capabilities and absorbing capabilities, and that's going to influence on their personality. So there's a very strong correlation with where you spend your time to your personality, right? I'm obviously spending a lot of time in my inner world, so I'm going to be perceived by the outside world as introverted, because that's where I'm spending all of my time. Whereas someone who's here is going to be very extroverted, very outgoing, because they're spending all of their time in the outer world, okay? In their outer world, I would say. And someone who's spending all of their time here is going to be telling stories or telling anecdotes or getting information out. They're going to be trying their best to get information out to the world. Information out. Okay, so everyone has those people on their Facebook feed that is just constantly blasting information over and over and over again. So that's going to be these people, all of these people here, and the MBTI has classified them as judgers. Okay, and then there's going to be these people that are constantly taking in new information, constantly, right? So that's basically what I have until now on the way this works, on the way our processes work. And so if you see somebody who's spending most of their time here, this is probably what their type is here. So if they're spending a lot of time in their inner world, you could say, okay, let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these. All of the bottom left corner is going to be this person, one of these people. And then you know, okay, well, is it going to be this one? Is he going to be using NI? Is he going to be storing trees? No. So then he's one of these two. Is he going to be feeling? Yes. So then he's one of these two, right? And then you can hone in and get down to one of these types really, really quickly by just examining the board like this. DaveSuperPowers has a different method at doing it that works for him. For me, this method works better for me because I can conceptually understand it. I'm here. So someone who is here, for example, is going to enjoy my video. They're going to store all of this information factually. They're gonna have fun out here, figuring out all of this information and translating it into factual information. So this is where they're going to spend their time. They're going to be really trying to understand this stuff in this way. But for me, I was able to understand DaveSuperPowers because this is like my process here. I'm getting this information here. So I hope this video helped you. And if it didn't, there's other videos. I'm sorry for wasting your time. You should have stopped it a long time ago. But thank you for sticking around. And as I'm doing this process right now. This is the process I'm doing right now. By getting the information out there. This information is what I'm trying to get out there. And I'm doing it because I think it is valuable to people, and that's why I want to do it. So this is where I'm spending my time now, even though I haven't really gone through, I've done this with DaveSuperPowers, but I haven't read Carl Jung's book yet, and I haven't gotten into socionics yet or any of that stuff. But this is a theoretical framework that makes sense to me, and that's why I think I'm at a stage where I'm able to do this process right now. Okay? So just to explain that. Anyways, thank you very much. Good luck with whatever it is you're trying to do, as long as it's something that's positive and constructive. All right, bye.